A heavy rain across southern India and Sri Lanka have killed 41 people. Most of the fatalities either drowned or were buried in landslides. The southern Indian city of Chennai has been hit the hardest, with 16 deaths. Non-stop rainfall over the past few days has left many parts of the auto manufacturing hub waterlogged. Schools have been closed, train services disrupted, and flights suspended. Communities have been left stranded waist-deep in water, prompting government officials to use pumps to drain the area. Downpours are expected to ease in the next few days.
தூங்குறதுக்கு இடம் இல்ல ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு எப்படி போறது அதுமே தெரியல பெயின்
Ishan Garg joins us live from New Delhi. Ishan, Chennai is the hardest hit. How are the clean-up operations progressing there?
Well, the cleanup operations are progressing rather slowly because the rainfall still hasn't stopped. The rainfall is still continuing, and the weather department says that it's going to ease in the next 12 to 48 hours. So the real cleanup process and the real assessment of the damage that the flood has left in its wake will only start in about 2 to 3 days. But right now, rescue efforts are continuing. About 11 teams of the National Disaster Response Force have been deployed throughout the state of Tamil Nadu, and 2 other teams have been sent to Pondicherry, which is a union territory close to the state of Tamil Nadu. As for the city of Chennai, the city is really badly hit. About 7 million people live there, and 444 neighborhoods in that city are completely flooded. They are drowning, with several people forced to be out in the streets because their houses are waterlogged. The federal government has promised assistance to the state of Tamil Nadu, and the chief minister has also formed a committee of 5 of his closest officials, one of whom assisted during the tsunami floods as well. So they are hoping that the situation will be brought under control within the next 2 days.
And what can you tell us about a sense of anger on the ground that authorities just haven't learned from the last flooding disasters?
Absolutely. There is massive anger on the ground. People are comparing it to the previous tragedy that happened in 2015, a massive flood that led to the loss of lives of about 500 people. Now, this flood is not really comparable to that tragedy because the scale is much smaller, but the reason for both this flooding is exactly the same. There is a massive catchment area of lakes straight in the middle of the city of Chennai, heavily populated, and that's the area that's built upon lakes. So it really has no drainage system, and when the rainfall comes in, that part of the city just can't handle it, and it becomes flooded. And this was the reason for the previous floods as well. And now the chief minister is putting the blame on the previous government, saying that they did not do enough. And he's also promised that this problem is going to be addressed going forward. But citizens in the city of Chennai, they are absolutely livid. They are saying that they are tax-paying citizens and they deserve better. About $7 billion were spent on creating this infrastructure project, and now it's becoming one of the reasons why there is such massive flooding in Chennai. So it's really understandable why there is so much anguish among people in Chennai.
Oh, thank you for that update. Ishan Garg is in New Delhi.